In the fall of 1975, I saw Fleetwood Mac with Ambrosia and with Stevie Nicks, Lizzie Beckham, minus, minus, minus Bob Wells, and Ambrosia at the Kent State Student Center in the ballroom. About that same time, within a week, I saw this. Todd Rundgren. Oh. I saw this. Utopia. Todd Rundgren's Utopia. So I saw Fleetwood Mac, Ambrosia, and Todd Rundgren within a week. Let's see what he does. The keyboard's been in the back, up high. The keyboard, he was in the background, up high. Advance this. See what he does. Communion with the sun. I remember him. I don't know his name. Utopia. Very much like this small place. The ballroom held 2,000 to 2,500 people. I was in the second row, front and center. Both concerts.
Song entitled Sunset Boulevard.
I've never seen this show. It's an hour and 31 minutes. Anyhow, at one point the song goes, Utopia goes, city in my head. That was the highlight of the concert for me, because the 8-track would play it once in a while in my Nova at the way Kent State every morning. It was about 3 miles away, and took me about 35 minutes to get there. So I had more than enough time to listen to one track, one side of an album. I bought some bootleg 8-tracks I didn't know at first for like $4 each mail order. I found the ad for it. It's in the student center for the newspaper, and I ordered a whole bunch of stuff like Booty Blues, their greatest hits. This was the Moody Blues. Things, Todd Rundgren's Utopia, and stuff like that. A lot of music. I must have about 40 8-tracks. Some of the 8-tracks had 2 albums on it, and some had 4 albums on it. One 8-track. Their extended play. One album per track. So during that time, I had lots of time to listen to music, study, you know, upstairs at Grandma and Grandma Minium's house. Yeah, burning incense, candles. Yeah. I didn't drink much back then. I still didn't like beer much. I would read Don Juan's book. What I would do is I had a corncob pipe and some marijuana. I'd take a hit and read for about half an hour. Same with my psychology books and stuff. I wouldn't get stoned. I would get slowly stoned. And then I'd wait about half an hour, read 3 or 4 or 5 pages of the book or a school book, and then I'd take another hit or 2. Do that for a couple hours and then go to bed. In the morning, I would go downstairs after I wash my hair in the bathtub, no shower. There. Hardly no water. And watch the Today Show with Grandma and Grandpa. I ate breakfast. And I remember the Cleveland station had Al Roker on there. He worked for the Cleveland station and the Cleveland NBC station back then. And then somewhere in that year, he transferred to New York State, where he is now, on the Today Show. But Al Roker was on the Cleveland NBC affiliate. So anyhow, memories. Grandma Miriam died from complications of 2 severe strokes. And a fear of mine for many years was I'm not to ever be incapacitated like that. I believe she's about my age when she had the first one. You wouldn't know it. People looked much older back then. She wasn't in shape. Didn't do anything for years. Just sat around and watched TV. Laid her back, got fat. But she was a sweet, sweet woman. And as I get older, I look more like her and my mother than my dad. Tim looks more like my dad now. Mike looks like none of us. None of us, I don't think. Maybe the nose, but my lips are more like my mother's. My nose is like mine. I have no idea whose nose I have. But it's high record. Ambrosia and Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks. That concert, Stevie Nicks came out with very, very nervous. I didn't know it. I was expecting to see Bob Wells. But I elbowed the guy beside me. I said, "Who's this?" He goes, "I don't know." Then he asked somebody else. He came back and told me, "That's Buckingham Nicks. That's Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham." I went, "Huh?" And that was the second concert live that they ever did with Fleetwood Mac. Ever. Within somewhere in the next year, Rumors came out was the #1 in the world, and that within a year they were playing stadiums. I saw them with a Was it 75 or so? It must have been 75 at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh during summer break when I was working at the Sheraton, I believe. And big, huge, met 75,000 people. I think it was Fleetwood Mac, Bachman Turner Overdrive. Back then they called it the World Series of Rocks. They have like 5 big bands. And Fleetwood Mac was #1 in the world within a year. So, whoever did that, even though I was disappointed that Bob Walsh wasn't there, it turned out it was a smart move for the band. But I still prefer the era with Bob Welsh. Hypnotize, the album's Mystery to Me, Bare Trees, Future Games, Penguin. He's Bob Welsh took the founder's place named Peter Green. He was really into blues, and their band members didn't like the heavy blues. I don't think. So he left, and Bob Welsh took his place. So you got Fleetwood Mac, Mick Fleetwood, the drummer. You got John and Christy McVie, husband and wife back then. That's the Mac. And then, well, the rest of history. The band was already named, but when Stevie and Lindsay joined, but that was Stevie and Lindsay's second ever concert live, besides rehearsals. Imagine that. And she was so nervous the first song or two, and then she relaxed. When I was the first in line, and when I got there, I sat in the front seat in the middle, and I looked up, and I thought I was too close. So I got up, hopped over that chair, and sat in the second row. I couldn't, it was too close in the first row. Second or third row. And here's Stevie flowing with those gypsy-like clothes that flowed from her. And she was beautiful back then. She was young, like 23, 24, 25. Now she's like 65 and lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. Not too far from here. And Ambrosia and Fleetwood Mac were on the same ticket. Fleetwood Mac moved to L.A. from England, or the UK somewhere. And while in L.A. rehearsing, they bumped into Ambrosia, I believe. So Ambrosia was Fleetwood Mac's warm-up band. But both L.A. bands at the time. Can you imagine? Holding On to Yesterday, nice, very nice. Now that was a concert. That was a concert. One of the best concerts I ever saw was Ambrosia and Fleetwood Mac and Todd Rundgren. And Todd. I saw Jethro Tull a couple times there at the gymnasium. Who else? I saw War Child. They had a stage that 3 runways that went down into the audience. And back then I did sit in the middle, in the seat on the floor. I sat about 15 rows up, diagonally from the stage on purpose. About 35 to 40 feet in front of the stage. I figured that's a good angle to see. Nobody's ever going to be in your way. On the floor, people are in your way. If you're 5'10", some guy 6'2" is in front of you, you're fucked or screwed. You know, you can't see. Guy's blocking your view. So I learned my lesson. Always sit a little bit higher than everybody, a little bit in front of the stage, at an angle. But Jethro Tull had three runways. I'll never forget Ian Anderson doing Skating Away by himself, solo. But when he had a chance, he would go down the runways and kneel and get right in everybody's face. You know, it's like it had a good mood, smiling, singing. It was great. It was great. I remember two guys from the band put a zebra costume on. We were prancing around. One guy in the front, one guy in the back. They stopped. All of a sudden, the zebra took a dump. 3 round turds. And some guy picked them up, scratched his head. He brings them to Ian Anderson. No, he starts juggling them. He starts juggling all three turds, balls. And then Ian Anderson walks up to the microphone and he goes, Elton John's got his glasses. And things like this. And he goes, but Tull has their shit together. He cracked everybody up. The place roared with laughter. But Tull has their shit together. So, that was a good concert. Anyhow, enough rambling. Oh, see this shirt? It's the same shirt I was wearing when Tria's daughter took that picture of me. It's like my father's shirt that's in my store. Basic editions from Kmart and Sholo by August of 2015. Guy, what's his name? I said, I need a better blanket than a sheet blanket. He gave me a quilt that was just washed. And he put it on there so it hung on the ground. I said, that's a trip hazard. You can't have that hanging off there. You know, you got to put it on the bed so it's not hanging off the end. You know, I don't need this here. Give me this pillow. I don't even need the pillow. Got this. I'll pick that up later. But, yeah, a lot better than a thin black blanket. That cave's more to a pain in the butt than anything. Well, anyhow, I'm going to have to sit there and figure this how to do this very carefully because I don't want to corrupt the video. Make sure it's still going. 19 minutes and 3 seconds. 8, 9, 10.